Hello and welcome. I'm Cole Peterson and I'm doing my heroic imagination presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of heroes in my life that I looked up to growing up. A little backstory is I was born with a cleft lip and palate, so growing up, other children would kind of look at me a little bit different. This was hard at times, but one big thing that my parents encouraged was putting me into sports and letting me see teammates. So one of my biggest heroes growing up was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was actually born with a cleft palate, so although he didn't have the cleft lip, he just symbolized somebody like me that was still able to succeed and perform at a high level despite having a birth defect. I see him as a hero in my eyes because over his career he played honest and with passion, and it's just somebody I always looked up to and tried to be like. His work ethic, everything from how he treated his teammates, really helped show me that regardless of a birth defect, like, you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. So growing up, when I was in sports or whatnot, and people would look at me a little bit different, I would always see that Peyton Manning's able to do it, and I just looked up to him and tried to become him in a way. So that was one of my first ever heroes I had in my life. And growing up played a big factor as I was in sports pretty much my entire life. Another person I want to talk about who I believe is a hero is Joaquin Phoenix. At the time I was in high school when the movie The Joker came out, and I guess that was my first real like experience watching him on TV. And Joaquin Phoenix was born with a cleft lip, sorry. And seeing him on the big screen, like, high school was a time where everybody's kind of looking at themselves in the mirror and trying to figure out who they're going to become. And I kind of looked at my cleft lip as kind of like a scar, like something not to be proud of. So I remember when I was 16 and I saw The Joker and he had a cleft lip, it was like, wow, like, people are able to accomplish a lot. They're still able to make it on the big screen. And just watching his movies and going back and kind of diving into his, like, what roles he's played and whatnot, he's really shown that regardless of a birth defect, like in the nose or wherever it may be, you're still able to accomplish your dreams. And he's somebody that worked really hard. A little bit more about these two characters, and not just why I thought they were heroic when I first met them, but they're both very vocal and outreaching in the medical field and trying to share their stories so people like us aren't forgotten about, in a way. Or I wouldn't say forgotten, but just letting each other know that we're still out there. So Peyton Manning, he's got a foundation where he raises money for kids and everybody that's had to deal with it. Joaquin Phoenix has spoken out about it. He's gone on and talked about how he was kind of pushed to get removal treatment on it, but instead he's really embraced it. And it shows a lot about his character, and that it's not something to hide behind. It's something to kind of like live in, and it makes you unique. And it was a big message for me going throughout high school because, like I said before, everybody's worried about their appearance and whatnot, and seeing someone like him on the big stage and him being so outspoken about how he never felt like he needed to change it, really just makes you feel better. You know, it's not something to hide about. These two figures really meant a lot to me growing up and throughout my adolescence and getting older, and I don't know, just really made me feel more proud of who I was and people that I can look on and see how respectful and great they are and really try to be like them. So thank you for listening, and this was my heroic imagination presentation.